Yeah, so firstly, hello, I'm Claire. Thank you to Graham for the introduction. And for our European friends, I hope I get this right. Ciao, yeah, and la bas. Was that okay? Fantastic. We're starting off well. So yeah, just a little bit more about me and why I'm here speaking with you today about a positive journey and positivity. Graham explained that we met on the train and found some real kind of common ground in the way that we work and the projects that we work on. I work for an organisation called Words and Pictures. We're essentially a communications agency based up in a lovely old converted mill in the Yorkshire Dales. We do a lot of work with organisations around corporate social responsibility, issue-based awareness, so helping people understand important issues and communicating behavioural change programmes as well. So it's really diverse, it's really interesting, and we do a lot of work helping kind of organisations achieve social good and working in communities really. I myself work on a lot of projects and speeches to empower young people, raise aspirations, help young people sort of get on the right track for their own positive journeys in understanding what opportunities are out there in the world for them. And I'm going to talk to you today about people's positive journeys, but really about positivity in general. I think it's a very, very positive and powerful thing to be able to kind of keep a bright outlook on life despite the challenges that we face. And I felt, massively moved by some of the stories that we've heard here this morning about, people. One of our gentlemen said, I didn't think I had anything positive to offer, and then I realised that I did, and what a wonderful realisation. So today I'm going to be talking about my own positive journey, that of someone in the media who I think is a really inspirational individual, the challenges that we might face in the pursuit of positivity, and how we can use our own stories and positivity to help other people, and also how important the role of communication is in kind of expressing our own positive journeys and conveying that outwardly. But first of all, I just wanted to acknowledge that we're going to talk about positivity in a very real and practical sense. Motivational speeches and positive speeches and sentiments vary wildly, and some of them are a bit idealistic. But today I think what we're focusing on is real, practical, positive stuff, things that people can achieve and things that people experience in the real world and in their real lives every day. And I think that's really heartening and really touching and realistic. So we don't live in Disney World. Life is not perfect. Life, it's not kind of an idyllic, peaceful existence all the time. And so thinking about keeping it real and how we can be real in our positivity. And funnily enough, one of my favourite quotes on this comes from one of the world's most surreal men, the surrealist artist, Salvador Dali, who said that we shouldn't fear perfection because we're never going to achieve it. And that's right, and do you know what I mean? That you don't have to be perfect to be positive. Life will never be perfect. There will always be things that go wrong and challenges, but if we can embrace them positively and acknowledge that, then that's a real strength to have, and it can carry us through in kind of a sustainably positive manner. So I really like that. And often life can feel a little bit like this. The positive journeys that we have can often start off at the bottom of a very, very steep hill, and we're stood looking up it thinking, how the hell am I going to get up this hill? How am I going to overcome this challenge? And it's often easier just to stay at the bottom. And the people that are telling their stories of positive journeys today have gone through some real hardships and overcome their own challenges to feel positive and to make something great about themselves stand out and be told, I suppose. So yeah, life can be occasionally a bit of an uphill battle, and we can't circumnavigate the problems that life throws at us. But I think if we can surround ourselves with positivity and understand what makes us feel good, then that's a really good tool to help us climb our way up the battles that we might face in life. But it's not easy. Even people at the top of their game fall down sometimes, The hurdles that we're given, we won't always clear beautifully. We might stumble, we might make the odd mistake. But if we can learn from it and retain some positivity and take it forward and stay on that path of a positive journey, then that is massively inspirational to other people as well. So we make mistakes, things happen, it's fine. We just need to get back up and carry on and acknowledge that actually we're the same as anyone else in doing that. So I'm a professional communicator. I love communication. I think it's an art form in itself, and I think it can be an immensely powerful and positive thing. And nowadays, we are lucky to be blessed with many different platforms to communicate on. And I think it's really good if we can utilise them to tell our positive stories. So things like the Positive Journey Initiative and the website. You know, Graham's making really good use of social media, one of the channels that I work a lot with, to tell positive stories. Social media connects people. It helps people converse in a way that they might not normally do face to face. It helps us really easily share our positive stories. And I think when we do that, we're an everyday hero. When we've got, you know, the braveness and the strength to talk about where we've come from, what we're doing, and help support and inspire other people, whether that's online or on a train, that's an absolutely fantastic thing to be doing. So we've got all these different platforms for positivity, be it me standing talking to you today, or sending a supportive email to a friend, or getting involved with the Positive Journeys project. Really thinking about the platforms and the ways and the channels of communication that might work for you and how you can inspire other people, and listen and learn about other people's positive journeys as well, take something from it and give it back as well. So a little bit about my own positive journey. That's a photograph of myself there meeting Bomed and Max from Hollyoaks and being interviewed for Clares UK. I was an ambassador for Clares UK shortly after kayaking a small part of the Atlantic Ocean and raising money for carers across our nation who do an absolutely brilliant job. And that's something that's extremely close to my heart, because from being a very young age, I helped my mum care for my dad, who had a very a rare form of Parkinson's. And it was very difficult, and it was extremely challenging. And I felt extremely isolated at times, as my mum did. And the reason I'm so passionate about communication and kind of part of the reason I'm so invested in new technologies and ways to connect people is that we didn't have those when I was young. And I think had we have had those, I would have felt far more connected to my peers and far more a part of the world. But as it was, I didn't, and I suffered from depression, I suffered from anxiety, I had eating disorders throughout my teens, and life wasn't actually very good. It was very hard. You know, there's a benefit to being a carer. It's very rewarding, and I had immense admiration for my mum, who cared for my dad, and for my dad's strength. You know, he always had a smile despite being very ill. You know, he was, despite being challenged and very poorly, always on his own positive journey, which I think is fantastic. But life was difficult, and I felt very left out. Very left out. I felt like that little yellow dude there. I was always on the outside looking in, and I was extremely badly bullied at school, which, as I'm sure you can appreciate, didn't help with feeling left out. So I was already very different, and then getting bullied highlights it even more, and you think, oh, when's life going to get any easier? So I felt very singular, but as I got older, I learned to embrace the things that made me feel good. And I learned to forget the negativity that I was experiencing and really concentrate on what it was I could do for myself to get through this difficult time and to emerge on more of a positive journey. And I'm lucky enough to be here speaking to you today. Very intelligent, compassionate people I've been lucky enough to meet as part of this project, and having met Graham. And life's really good. Life's good now. It's interesting, it's diverse. I work for an excellent organisation who do some fantastic work in a field that I'm very passionate about. And I've learned to focus on the things that make me feel good and make other people feel good. There's immense positivity in contributing and in helping others. And I think, you know, whether it's volunteering through an organisation like Volunteer Cornwall, or it's blood donation like we heard from the gentleman that's part of the Positive Journey project as well, and has actually overcome depression by contributing and giving to others. That's what makes him tick. I have a really good life, and the things that keep me positive are that crazy little crew there, so friends, being active. We talked about the Special Olympics and seeing how physical activity has such a positive impact on all of us, no matter what our abilities are. I'm a qualified fitness instructor, and for me that took fitness and activity and the positivity around that to the next level, because I was able to help other people with their physical well-being. So that's massively empowering. I love my dog. I'm very interested in the work that Pets as Therapy do. I think animals are an immensely positive force to be around. And music as well. I used to be a singer. I'm still very interested in music. I've gigged all over Britain, and completely understand where you guys are coming from in how fantastic it feels to be part of a musical contribution and a musical group and let your creativity out through music. It's a wonderful thing to do, no matter what it is you play and no matter what your ability is at that level. This is another young lady who I really admire, actually. Some of you may know her, some of you may not. She's called Zoella, and she's a vlogger, so she records video blogs. She has, I think, 10 to 12 million fans worldwide. She is now a best-selling published author. She's DJ'd on Radio 1, and she's Mind's digital ambassador. And Zoella does a lot of beauty and health and lifestyle blogging, but also she's been very open and very honest about her battles with anxiety and mental health issues and the hurdles she's had to jump and indeed fall over to get to where she is today. So not only does she use all those millions of followers to disseminate messages about, how to pluck your eyebrows, but she also talks about things like how to cope with panic attacks and how normal it is to feel a little bit strange and unnormal sometimes and feel a bit left out, and how mental health difficulties needn't kind of halt your progression in life. And what a shining example of someone that's willing to put themselves out there and share their positive journey from having overcome mental health issues to now being kind of worldwide celebrity now. And I think she's a really worthy digital ambassador for Mind, because she exists online. As I said, she's out there spreading positive messages, and she also has a day job, which has made her extremely famous. She's doing brilliantly, and I think she's a good example, especially for young women to look up to, because I know from personal experience, young women have a lot of pressure on them nowadays, and we've seen a doubling rise in eating disorders in young people in the UK. So we definitely need more positive, holistic, well-rounded, relatable role models like Zoella for our young people to be identifying with. So I think she's a really nice example of a positive journey, and who knows, perhaps Graham could give her a call and see if she wants to get involved. I'm sure she's busy, but hey. In my profession, the key things that a speaker would like the people that have been involved in the presentation to take out from it and take away with them are called takeouts or takeaways. And I just thought we could summarise some of the things that I've discussed today in this brief presentation. So the first one really being that you can have positivity without being perfect. Life's never going to be perfect, but if you can try and stay positive, that is an immensely powerful thing. There's lots of positivity to be felt and to be had by contributing, so by giving something back. And I know you'll have heard it lots of times, but I have first-hand experience in how great it feels to be able to contribute to society and other people. Try to think about the platforms that we have in order to kind of disseminate and spread your positive message. And also, if you've got a positive story to tell it, whether it's online or to the person sat next to you, because you never know who might benefit from hearing about your experiences, and indeed, if you're brave enough to share them, the challenges in life that you've actually overcome. So I just thought I'd see if anyone had any questions or any comments or anything. No? Great. That's easy for me then. And finally, just to say thank you very much for your time and your attention to the other speakers that have been here today. Incredibly moving and really lovely stuff this morning. And enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Claire.